You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I never thought one of my siblings would become rich and famous and I would still be in the trenches.
That's how it started. One emotional statement, and now the internet is in full meltdown. GloRilla's own sister is speaking out, throwing shade, hinting at money problems, and even claiming she's doing better than the rap star herself. So what really happened behind the scenes? The rise of GloRilla. Before we even start getting into all this wild, messy, absolutely insane drama that has been blowing up every single timeline on every single platform for the past week and a half, we gotta take it way back first. We gotta go all the way to the beginning and really break down where GloRilla came from, what she was dealing with coming up, and exactly how she went from having absolutely nothing to becoming one of the hottest names in the rap game right now. Because without that backstory, without understanding the come up, none of this beef between her and her sister hits the way it's supposed to hit. So let's run it back to Memphis, Tennessee. We're talking about a little pocket called West Side, tucked inside of Fraser, which sits up in North Memphis. That's where Gloria Hallelujah Woods, the woman the whole world now knows as GloRilla, was born on July 28th, 1999. And look, Shorty was not born into no cushy situation where the bills were paid and everybody was eating good. Nah, not even close. She was the 8th of 10 children, all from the same mama and the same daddy, all crammed up in one crib, all just trying to make it through each day without falling apart. Real hood struggles. The kind of struggles that either break you down completely or turn you into something the world ain't ready for. Now, her sister Victoria, who goes by Scarface Woods out in these streets, recently sat down for an interview and started painting a picture of their childhood that was straight up gut-wrenching. She talked about how something as simple as a trip to McDonald's felt like they had won the lottery, like it was some once-in-a-blue-moon type of blessing.
Well, growing up, it was a struggle. I didn't start living life till I got to adulthood.
And fam, she was not capping when she said that, because she took it even further and explained that even grabbing a piece of candy from the corner store was a big deal for them back in the day.
Getting something out the store was a privilege to us. Like I'm talking about picking up some candy or something like that.
You hear that? A piece of candy was a privilege. That tells you everything you need to know about what these kids were going through. Victoria also chopped it up about how their pops was working at the post office, grinding day in and day out, a job that should have been enough bread to keep the family straight. But when you got 10 mouths to feed, that check was getting stretched thinner than a dollar store trash bag. She said he was constantly having to tap their neighbor Mr. Raymond for loans just to keep things moving, and eventually old boy started charging interest on every dollar.
But it became a repeated cycle. So Mr. Raymond used to be like, all right now, you working at the post office.
So Pops was literally robbing Peter to pay Paul, borrowing 20 and owing back 40, just trying to keep the lights on and food in the fridge. Victoria said she used to look around the house and be confused as hell, like, how are we this down bad when daddy got a whole job? She said she thought the man was making $3 an hour the way they were struggling. But here's the part that makes this whole situation so layered, so complicated, and so damn emotional. Even through all that poverty, even through all that pain, all those nights when they went to bed with empty stomachs, these kids had each other. They had those memories. They had those moments where they would be cracking up laughing together even while their bellies were growling.
With the memories of us struggling, but through the struggle, we used to make each other laugh, get mad at each other.
That bond right there, that ride or die connection that was forged through shared suffering, is exactly what makes this current falling out hit so different. Because at one point in time, all they had was each other. That was it. That was the whole squad. Now growing up in that environment, GloRilla found her way out through music. She started out singing in her church choir before a cousin peeped her freestyling one day and basically told her she needed to stop playing and take the rap thing serious. So she locked in. At just 16 years old, Lil Sis started spitting bars and laying down tracks, pulling inspiration from heavyweights like Chief Keef, Soulja Boy, and Lil Wayne. She dropped her first mixtape, Most Likely Up Next, in 2019, followed that up with an EP called P Status in 2020, then came through with singles like You Ain't and Westside Baby in 2021, but through all that early grind, she was still dead broke. She was still pulling shifts at regular gigs just to survive, including working at Checkers, the fast food joint, just to keep a little change in her pocket while she chased the dream. And then, in April of 2022, everything flipped. GloRilla linked up with producer Hit Kid and dropped a track called FNF, Let's Go. And that John went absolutely nuclear on TikTok. The unit FNF challenge had everybody, and they mama doing the dance. The track shot into the top 50 of the Billboard Hot 100, and it stacked up damn near 100 million views on YouTube. Victoria remembers exactly when she knew her sister was about to blow. She said the moment Lil Baby put the song on his story, she knew it was a wrap.
I knew when Lil Baby shared it, she was finna blow. Now, it was getting a little clout. A lot of folks get clout, you know what I'm saying, on Facebook.
And she was 100% right about that. By July 2022, GloRilla had signed with Yo Gotti's Collective Music Group, becoming the label's first female artist, and she got blessed with a $500,000 signing bonus in cash on a whole private jet. That's bag secured on a different level. She went on to drop Tomorrow 2, featuring Cardi B, which slid right into the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100, and she snagged the BET Award for Breakthrough Hip Hop Artist that same year. She caught a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Performance at the 65th Annual Grammys. She got put on the XXL Freshman Class of 2023. She dropped an album called GloRilla's in October 2024 that peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200 with features from Megan Thee Stallion. That project eventually moved over 1 million total units. She was named one of AP's Breakthrough Entertainers of 2024 and even pulled up to the White House. By early 2026, her net worth was sitting at an estimated $2 to $3 million. Shorty was all the way up. Victoria admitted that when all this first started popping off, she was genuinely proud of her sister. She said it felt like GloRilla had made it out for the whole family.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I never thought one of my siblings would become rich and famous and I would still be in the trenches.
And that right there, that one single bar, is the seed that grew into every single thing that came next. Because while GloRilla's star was shooting higher and higher with each passing month, Victoria says the family back in Memphis was still in the trenches, still broke, still hungry, still getting by on prayers and pocket change, and according to her, still being left on red by the one person who had the bag and the power to change everything. Victoria goes public and puts it all on Front Street. Now, by the time February 2026 rolled around, Victoria had been holding all this frustration in for what she says was 4 whole years. 4 years of watching her sister level up and get to the money. 4 years of scrolling through the gram and seeing GloRilla flexing with designer bags, luxury whips, and celebrity homies. 4 years of sitting back in Memphis, clocking in at regular jobs, getting clocked by strangers in public who recognized her face and wanted to know why GloRilla's own blood sister was still out here punching a time card when sis was supposed to be a whole millionaire.
And they like, why you working there? You GloRilla's sister?
Right, burnt the spot up.
And so, according to Victoria, this was not about chasing clout. This was not about trying to get famous off her sister's name. And this was not about tearing GloRilla down just for the hell of it. She says she just reached her boiling point. Shorty had had enough. She hopped on Facebook and posted a status basically saying she was about to expose everybody's favorite rapper. And from that point on, it was straight up chaos across the whole internet. Victoria went live and put GloRilla all the way on blast, accusing the rapper of straight up neglecting their family, financially, even though she was sitting on millions. She said GloRilla had not slid the family a single dollar in 4 years, that their mama was still putting in hours at FedEx just to keep the lights on, and that the siblings back home were still struggling with basic stuff like rent and groceries. She made it a point to call out the fact that GloRilla stays in interviews talking about how rough their come up was, using those struggle stories to build up her image, but then turns around and ghosts the very people who lived through all that mess with her. Then, on February 5th, 2026, Victoria pulled up on TMZ and ran it all back on camera for the whole world to see. And what she said next had the interviewers looking at each other sideways.
Hey, yeah, she got an obligation to shred her well. We sat here, we struggled together. Took baths and bottles of water, rest, roaches, all that.
Victoria was making it real clear that in her eyes, GloRilla owed the fam, period, point blank, no debates. And when TMZ asked her straight up how much bread it would take to dead this whole situation, her answer caught everybody completely off guard.
She can get all of her like $2,500 a piece.
How much?
$2,500.
You heard that right, $2,500 per sibling. That's it. The TMZ dude even said he thought GloRilla would jump at that number because for somebody with her type of bread, that's light work. But Victoria wasn't done cooking. She went straight at GloRilla's whole public persona, calling her image completely fake, saying she acts like an angel on the internet for the fans, but is a straight up demon behind closed doors with her own people. She also came for GloRilla's whole story about retiring their pops and blessing him with a Jaguar, saying the whip was nowhere near new knew, and the house she copped for him was the smallest crib on the block. Now, GloRilla was not about to let all that slide. She hopped on Instagram Live and came back swinging, posting receipts and screenshots of text messages from their mama, thanking her for holding the family down financially. She told Victoria straight up to keep her family out of it and stop trying to run her name through the dirt for attention. But the real smoke came on February 9th when GloRilla went live on Facebook and brought their actual parents into the conversation. Their mama got on the phone and started breaking the whole situation down from her perspective. She explained that Victoria's anger partly came from the fact that GloRilla couldn't bail her out of jail at one point, and that Victoria only found out about the FedEx job because of a whole misunderstanding involving their autistic brother.
Victoria is upset with me because, one, I couldn't give her any money, and she just found out that I was working at FedEx.
Their mama also cleared the air and said she was only working 2 to 3 hours at FedEx, not because she was struggling and needed to, but because she wanted to go with their autistic brother who wanted to experience what having a job felt like. Then she dropped a bombshell that flipped the whole narrative. She admitted that GloRilla had already retired her and that she was low-key, scared to tell her daughter she had snuck back to work those few hours.
And I told you, I said, Gloria, no, I don't. It was after what I was scared to death because she retired me. She did.
Mama went on to say GloRilla had blessed her with the car she always dreamed of, had been covering her rent every single month, and had taken her on trips all across the country that she never in her wildest dreams thought she would go on. Then, GloRilla got their pops on FaceTime, and he co-signed everything their mama said, no hesitation. But GloRilla did not stop there. She wasn't just proving she had taken care of the folks. She also started airing out Victoria's own dirty laundry, dropping allegations that Victoria had escaped from a mental institution called Lakeside and had to be tracked down and brought back by force. She also brought up a 2015 incident where Victoria allegedly pulled up on her with a gun in a hotel room when GloRilla was only 15 years old, which reportedly led to Victoria catching a domestic assault charge.
It's well, I don't know, I was a minor, so half of it ain't public record. I ain't gonna talk about how you got me sent to jail for a whole week.
GloRilla made it crystal clear that she had been done with certain siblings long before the money and the fame ever entered the picture, and that the bag had nothing to do with why she cut ties.
My siblings that I don't with, they know why I don't with them. Me getting money don't make it no difference.
Now, when Victoria got asked about the gun allegation during her sit-down with DJ UTV, she flat out denied the whole thing ever went down.
Never happened.
Okay, that never happened. Okay, cool.
She also shot down the Lakeside claims, questioning how anybody in their right mind could escape a whole psychiatric facility with all that security.
Because the last time I checked, Lakeside had plenty of security. And you can't just escape Lakeside.
So now you got two sisters telling two completely different versions of the same story, both swearing on everything that the other one is straight up lying, and the entire internet is watching this play out in real time, choosing sides and going back and forth like it's a heavyweight title fight. Tory Lanez, the 200K flex, and the bigger picture. Now, just when everybody thought this whole situation had reached maximum levels of crazy, just when folks thought there was no possible way this drama could get any wilder than it already was, the story took a plot twist that had absolutely nobody on their bingo card. Because out of all the people on the entire planet who could have inserted themselves into this family beef, the very last person anybody expected to slide into the mix was a dude who was literally locked up behind bars in a California penitentiary doing a whole decade. We're talking about Tory Lanez, the rapper who is currently sitting down on a 10-year bid for the 2020 shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. Somehow, someway, from inside a prison cell, Tory caught wind of Victoria's whole situation, saw her out here publicly asking for a measly $2,500 from her millionaire sister, and decided to slide her the bread himself. Victoria posted a screenshot of a DM from Lanez's Instagram where he basically told her, if you're actually f***ed up and really tripping about $2,500, I'll send it to you, gang. I know how it feels to not have while needing it. I hope God blesses you. Let that marinate for a second. A whole incarcerated rapper who caught a case for shooting another female rapper is now sending cash to the sister of a different female rapper who says she's being left out in the cold. Fam, you cannot write this type of stuff. It's wilder than any reality show on television. And of course, the internet went absolutely berserk with it. Some people giving Lanez props for looking out, and others pointing out the layers of irony considering his situation with Megan Thee Stallion, who just so happens to be one of GloRilla's biggest collaborators collaborators and close homies, but Victoria was far from done making noise, not even a little bit, because shortly after the Tory Lanez money drop hit the blogs, Victoria hopped back on social media and made a claim that had everybody doing a double take. She said in just one single week, she had racked up $200,000 from promos, interviews, and various opportunities that came flooding in because of all the viral attention. She posted that her network will be $1 million in the next 5 weeks and warned that her price is going up, telling folks to slide in her DMs for bookings and collaborations. Now, while Shorty never outright said the words, "I got more bread than GloRilla," the message was loud and clear. Here was a woman who literally just days before was out here on national TV asking her sister for $2,500, now claiming she had pulled in $200,000 in 1 week. If those numbers were legit, and that's a real big if that we need to address, then she was stacking paper at a pace that would have her catching up to or even passing her sister's income in no time flat. The comment section under that post was an absolute battlefield, just straight pandemonium. People were coming for her neck from every angle. Some were writing things like, "She'll be broke tomorrow, SMH." Others flipped the whole script on her and asked, "So is she gonna split it 8 ways with the other siblings?" Because according to her theory, they are obligated to her money. That's bars right there, because it's the exact same logic Victoria was using against GloRilla, now being thrown right back in her face. Critics called it straight clout chasing and suggested the 200K number was probably inflated or might even include Tory Lanez's $2,500 donation in the grand total. And when Victoria sat down with DJ UTV for a deeper, more real conversation about everything that had gone down, the interviewer asked her point blank how she was feeling now that she had gotten everything off her chest and the whole world was tuned in. Her answer was surprisingly raw and emotional, a side of her most people had not seen through all the viral rants.
I wish you didn't have to come to this.
Okay.
I wish that we could have sat down and actually talked.
That moment hit different because underneath all the Facebook lives, all the TMZ interviews, all the social media flexing about getting to the bag, there was a woman who was genuinely in her feelings. She was hurting. She said she wished none of this had ever gone public, that she would have preferred to just pull up on her sister face to face and hash it out like family is supposed to.
I wish that she could see how I feel. But if that would have, I didn't want it to get to this. Do I regret it? Half yeah and half no.
Half yes, half no. That's about as real and conflicted as a person can get. And when the interviewer asked her the $1,000,000 question, what would it take for her and GloRilla to squash this beef, dead the drama, and just be sisters again, Victoria went completely quiet.
What do you think would need to take place for you and your sister to be able to hug again?
That's a question I can't even answer.
She couldn't even find the words, and that silence was louder than every single rant she had posted, every single interview she had done, and every single live she had gone on. It said more than anything she could have spoken into that microphone. Now, the broader reaction to this whole saga has been split right down the middle, and it has sparked a conversation that is way bigger than just these two siblings going at it. Essence dropped a whole op-ed breaking down what they called the high cost of making it, digging into the question of how much successful people really owe their relatives, and shining a light on the very real risk of family members trying to finesse the bag off somebody else's grind. The article pointed out the absurdity of the whole situation, that this entire public meltdown, all this smoke, all this drama that had Black America glued to their screens was fundamentally about $2,500. That's it. That forced folks to sit with some uncomfortable questions. If your sibling blew up and started getting to serious money, would you feel like you were owed a cut? And if you were the one who made it out, would you feel obligated to hold down every single relative regardless of how they had treated you? GloRilla's supporters have been pointing to all the documented receipts of her generosity as proof that she already put in more than enough work for the family. She retired both of her parents. She pays their bills every single month. She copped her mama that dream car. She bought her red bottoms for Christmas. She's taken her people on trips they never thought they'd go on in a million years. Her own pop said it himself on that live. She has done exceedingly and above what anyone could ask. But Victoria's supporters argue that when you come from a crib with 10 kids who all went through the struggle together, roaches, rats, empty fridges, and hand-me-down everything, and you're the one who makes it out and gets to the bag, there's a moral obligation to reach back and put your people on. They point out that GloRilla uses those exact same struggle stories in her music and in her interviews to build her whole brand, and if she can get paid off those stories, then the people who actually lived through them with her deserve a piece of the pie. Victoria herself pushed back hard on anybody who tried to label her a clout chaser, pointing out that she sat on her hands for 4 whole years before she said a single word to the public.
It's been my sister for 30 years, 4 years on. I could have been got the clout if I wanted it. I could have been posted the messages my mama had did and humiliated her.
And when the interviewer asked her what the biggest misconception about her was through this whole situation, she didn't even blink.
I would say like they saying I'm seeking clout.
Right. Okay.
And like I'm just humiliating the family.
She stands on everything she said and insists every word of it was facts. And her position is simple. If the truth is embarrassing, then maybe the problem ain't with the person telling it. Maybe the problem is with what happened in the first place. As of right now, in mid-February 2026, there has been zero reconciliation between the two sisters. GloRilla appears to be locked in on her career, staying focused on tours and endorsement deals, while Victoria has pivoted hard toward building her own brand off the back of this viral moment, booking interviews, charging for appearances, and trying to turn the wreckage into a runway. Whether that $200,000 claim was real or capped up, one thing is undeniable. Victoria's visibility has gone through the roof, even if it came at the cost of burning the bridge between her and her sister, and possibly her entire family. And at the end of the day, that might be the most heartbreaking part of this whole story. Two sisters who grew up laughing together while their stomachs were empty, who survived the trenches side by side when all they had was each other, who once rode for each other through the worst of times, and now they can't even be in the same room without it turning into World War III. The DJU-TV interviewer said something at the end of his conversation with Victoria that really stuck with a lot of people. He told her that their mama didn't have all them kids for no reason, and that maybe it took 26 or 30 years for that reason to start revealing itself. But right now, in this moment, it feels like the Woods family is more fractured than it has ever been. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.